I have a toolbox full of things I've learned throughout the years, but it feels as if that toolbox is on a shelf and it's just out of reach. How can I find a stool to get to the toolbox? So we speak a lot about toolboxes, meaning I'm moving through the world that requires compassion, it requires patience, it requires love, it requires humility. And we've all got toolboxes, and sometimes depending on our youth, our family, our experience, our karmic package, sometimes we don't necessarily feel like we've always got the tools that are required. So this questioner is asking, I've developed a toolbox. But here it is sitting on a shelf and I can't quite reach it. What do I do? Well, here's the thing. That toolbox is with you. It isn't really on a shelf, although it may feel like it. All of your ability to meet the world, your inner world, and the world outside, which by the way isn't really two, it's one, but we'll talk about it as two for now with the awareness that it's actually just one. Your ability to meet that world with consciousness, with love, with truth, with divinity, is with you. That is you. It's not like learning physics or chemistry or astronomy or something you really need to sit in a classroom and learn from a chalkboard or a book and then remember. It is you. That is the nature of who you are. It's not where do I get goodness from? Where do I get divinity from? Where do I become that? But the dilemma is, we've got this ego that keeps us from accessing that truth of who we are, that keeps us from accessing that toolbox that we use to move through the world. And so the key becomes not about becoming something new, not about attaining something new, not about finding that toolbox off a shelf, but it becomes about removing that which is blocking me from accessing, from living in and as the truth of who I am. And that's just the ego. And this is where our spiritual practice comes in. This is where our awareness comes in. Because the ego is only able, and by the way, when I use the word ego, I don't mean it only limited to arrogance. Sometimes in English when we say ego, we just mean, oh, you're full of yourself. You're very arrogant. But on the deep spiritual level, when we talk about ahankar, the ego, it includes not just arrogance. It includes that whole sense of false self. So the ego is that which says, I'm the best, but it's also that which says, I'm the worst. The ego is that which says, I'm brilliant, I'm perfect, I'm beautiful. And it's also that which says, I'm stupid, I'm worthless, I'm ugly, that's also ego. Every time you find yourself saying, I am, chances are that's ego. All of the ways that we fill in the blanks, I am angry, I am depressed, I am this religion, I am of that culture, I am rich, I am poor, I am great, I am horrible, I am worthy, I am not worthy, I'm brilliant, I'm stupid. It's all ego. Because it's not who you are. That's That's just the particular dressing, the particular packaging that the divinity of you is in at this time. Not, of course, the worthless part, but the part that says, I'm this color or this culture or this age. If I say to you, I'm 48 and I'm female and I'm American and I'm a sannyasi, well, that's not true. I mean, it is true in terms of I was born 48 years ago in America. I have taken vows of sannyas. But that's just my packaging. That's just at this particular intersection of time and space, what the packaging of soul in this particular form looks like. We could go around and each of you could give us what your packaging looks like. Your history, your story, your drama, your challenges, your achievements, all of that. It's the package. The form. But the content is divinity. The content is soul, spirit, love, truth. And so what we need to do is to remove that false sense. To stop moving through the world as form instead of content. And to realize who I am is soul. The beautiful aspect of that is when you then interact with others, you see them as content instead of form. So you interact with the world not as man to woman or man to man or woman to woman or Hindu to Hindu or rich person to poor person. But you move through the world as one. Just different packaging. And so if you find that you're overcome with aspects of ego, with feeling like that toolbox is too far, just ask yourself, how can I let go? How can I let go of my death grip on the identity I think I am? Because that's our handicap. Every time you say, but I am this, or I am like that, it's a death grip. Because the ultimate goal of spirituality is freedom. When we say moksha, moksha's freedom. It's not freedom from the body, it's freedom in the body, as we speak about so frequently. But that means I have to be free of all of the chains that bind me, of what I tell myself about me. You're too old, you're too young, you're not smart enough, you're not rich enough, you're not good enough, you're not this enough, you're too much that, not enough this. This is a box I put myself in. And so when we meditate, when we pray, when we love God, when we do seva, it's ways of freeing ourselves. When we talk about purifying the mind, it's purifying it not just from the obvious things like lust and greed, but purifying it from all the ignorance that tells us these stories about who we are. And then you'll find that that toolbox is with you, because it is you. All of the compassion and love and patience and wisdom and light, it is you. If you can just get free of that nonsense of the ego for a little while.